morning there in Philippines, and good day to the rest of the world. Once again, this is Barlaan, and welcome to Women's World. Today we have a very special guest with us, but before that, I'd like to take you over and greet our co-host, my twin, Marivir from New York.
Hello,
Hello,
hi twin. Good
twin.
evening. Good evening, USA, and how are you? Hi to the Philippines and Asia. This is Marivir. I'm broadcasting from my bedroom here in Forest Hills in New York. So this is the new normal now. We operate in our homes, in our bedrooms, in wherever we want. So thank God for this technology. So hello, Arceli. How are you there in Tagbilaran City?
Good morning from the Philippines. Arceli here. Hello, world. And welcome once again to the episode of the Women's World. So we have been enjoying our new normal.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you for joining us.
It's Wednesday morning there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a very, very good weather here. What about you there?
Today, yeah, here in New Jersey, it's
here.
perfect. It's perfect.
It's nice weather.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, well, you can wear light clothes, right, twin? So I like it. Love it. I wish it's always like this, like the Philippines.
You know what I did today?
Weather-wise.
You know what I did today? A breakthrough. I cut my own hair. I cut my own hair.
It's short. It's short.
I cut and colored it. Yeah.
I have an information to share too. I colored my hair. See, there's no more white hair.
Wow. I did also today. You know, so
amazing.
You know, this pandemic can make us learn new skills. That's amazing, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
So let's roll out.
To hear that.
Let's do a recap to what transpired.
Yes. So last time we've got a nice episode once again. It was Love Heals Racial Divide, and we were graced with the presence of our very talented, very loving wife and an extraordinary servant. So we've got Ma'am Ria Luz, who shared to us her different and not ordinary love story, which all started with just being pen pals, and she took the risk. So the secret was that her confidence is sourced on the thought that the man that he is going to be with for her entire life is actually God's choice, and that even if she wished to have somebody of white color, but God gave her somebody who is actually black, and that she calls God's color as black. So you see,
that's beautiful.
She's actually enjoying her married life to Noel, and it all started with just a simple, though she doesn't understand the way Noel talks, but because of the translation of the letter being sent to her for the first time, that I am born to serve you. So it was actually a very touching story, and that, you know, for her, no matter how far we are from each other, no matter what color we come from or we have, it doesn't matter at all. What is important is we know that it is God's call for us to be one with Him as co-creators, and that actually it is just her faith that led her to a very beautiful fate. So that was such a beautiful story, isn't it? And everyone listening to us was inspired by their story. So she's calling all the girls, the young ladies, and even the men that they are really going to pray hard for their life, and that is for eternity. So this morning, I think we have, you know, love conquers all. It means service. So this morning is another love story to tell, but it is in a different paradigm. So we are going to have it. Miss Merly, can you please introduce to us our guest this morning? And we are so excited to hear her story.
Yes, for sure. But before that, Twin, do you have you said you have some letter to read?
Yes.
From your school,
I
from the
want
president
to share
of your school. So yeah, let's do that first, and then move over to
our speaker. Yeah, thank you so much, Twin, and thank you, Arceli. A statement given by the president of Unification Theological Seminary on institutional racism because as you know, ladies and gentlemen, America is swept by storm right after the murder of the unfortunate demise of George Floyd in Minneapolis, and people are reacting. Despite the COVID, people are going to the streets and protesting against this racial discrimination once again in the U.S. And so I would like to read an enlightening statement from the president of my school, where I studied my master's degree in religious education, religious studies. And he mentioned that Dr. Thomas Ward, our president right now, is like, did institutional racism play a role in the death of George Floyd? Yes, he said so. And it is unfortunate that despite the movement for civil emancipation, civil liberties, and there was already, the government already had the Emancipation Proclamation and Reconstruction, for example, Queen and Arceli, and there were already the Civil Rights Act, laws like the Voter Rights Act of 1965, the Fair Housing Act. These are legal remedies to what has been culturally seen, and as like you segregate people into their color, black and white, and also Asians. We are also being discriminated against. It's like it's interracial here in the U.S. and it is an ugly head. And so our president had said, what is to be done? Because there are legal remedies and it seems not enough. And so it boils down to the culture of the years of resentment and doubt, resentment by the blacks and discrimination by the whites and vice versa and all that. Even Filipinos would be discriminating the others as well, and other Japanese perhaps, so this boils down to on the personal level, on your heart. So my teacher was saying that beyond the legal remedies, there has to be a very conscientious education to re-educate your heart, to accept everyone, that we are, it's like ideological to an Arceli, like we are human race, we are all God's children. Instead of saying we're black race, white race, yellow race, brown race, that actually defines our division and our segregation from each other. But if you have a mindset of us being a human race, we will perhaps accept each other as children of God, because color of the skin is epidermal. It's just on the topmost of us. But who we really are a matter of our heart, our kindness, and our love. So that is the message of our school, the Unification Theological Seminary, which I truly approve and I agree. And so with those love stories by Yuka and Greg and Noel and Ria, this closes the whole thing, that indeed it is the heart that will dictate love and acceptance and peace. So that's the message as far as racism, this racism storm in the US is concerned. So take it away, Twin.
Thank you, Twin. That's really enlightening and that's powerful. This is what Women's World is all about, as women, we try to fill this world with beautiful stories that turns into stories that our young men and women will watch someday in the theaters. It will become the source of inspiration for dances and books. And let's fill this world with beautiful stories, with positivity. And then, before you know it, this dark times that we are going through can be enlightened, can become a bright world. So speaking of that, let's move over to our topic today. Our topic is something that is I like this topic. It's live your dream, opportunities in times of crisis. And it's not just about crisis, the pandemic crisis, but as women, as human beings, we all go through crisis in our lives at so many points in our lives. That's what makes us human, right? So, but I want to read first the words of our founder, Mother Moon, said that throughout history, women has been persecuted. But through the women's maternal character, love, and sociability, the time is coming when the power of women will save the world. And I think this statement is highlighted more, and you can find more meaning in these words when we look at the world that we have right now. And this organization that we want to highlight today, and this lady, this person that I really respect very much. I have a very high respect for this, our special guest today. She's a global leader, and she is living her dream actually, but she remains true to her heart. She's very humble, sweet, down to earth. I met her at the halls of the United Nations maybe 3 years ago, and you can feel in her the most peaceful aura, you know. So let's go. I want to introduce her first. Today is her birthday, and maybe we should greet her when she comes out. But I will read some introduction about her. So our guest today, her name is Miss Gigi Peñalosa. She is a member of the Soroptimist, a global organization of women since 2008. And she's a past Federation Director and Secretary Treasurer of the Soroptimist International of the America, and was also an International Director of Soroptimist International, meaning the global scale. She is the governor-elect of the Philippine region. Recently, she was elected as the governor-elect. And on the business side of her, she manages their family corporation as president of VCP Trading International Corporation, executive vice president of Westco Electrical and Equipment Corporation, and vice president and treasurer of PAMAV Training Institute and Technology. She is married to engineer Rodolfo Peñalosa. Their 3 children are all married, giving them 8 grandchildren, whom she considers as her delight and the sweetest indulgence. Isn't that beautiful? Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful friends, let us welcome Miss Gigi Peñalosa. Hello, Tita
Hello.
Gigi.
Oh, good
Everyone, can we
morning.
all greet first? Happy birthday to her in
Happy
one go.
birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday.
you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday to you. I love you. I love you,
Yes.
Tita Gigi.
Thank you
Welcome.
very much. Thank you very much. This is really a lovely way to celebrate my birthday. I'm not mention how many birthdays I have had, but today is my birthday. That's it.
Yes.
Again, good morning and good evening to all of you. It is my great pleasure to guest here today on this webinar and have a conversation with very empowered women like all of you. As Merly said, she and I met at the United Nations CSW meeting a few years back. Yeah, I think that was like 2016 or 2017. But since then, we have not really met each other very often, but we always communicate via social media. And I am a follower of her in social media and everything because, I am so impressed and I am really very blessed to have a friend like her. As I've said, we don't see each other often, but I suppose we have developed a common bond, Merly, because of our mutual interest and passion in helping women. And as I said, I follow her because of all the good things she is doing, especially in her native province.
Thank you. Thank you for.
Okay, so Merly asked me to talk today about living your dream and the opportunities that women have in times of crisis. And this coronavirus pandemic has really hit us hard. It has totally caught us by complete surprise throughout the world. Yet, despite the horrific things that are happening to us now, experiencing all these limitations, ECQs, and everything, many positive things also came about. One of which is how it has brought the best in women, especially in terms of leadership, heroism and volunteerism. So I'm going to start with women's shining moments in this pandemic times. I'd like to discuss that because I know that most of you are leaders in your own rights. And then I will be talking about the future of girls in a post-pandemic world. Later on, I'm going to talk about my organization, the Soroptimist International of the Americas, which is a global organization that helps women and girls. So the global leadership of women says that only 7% of leadership roles in the world are held by women in government positions. But coincidentally, the leaders of 7 countries who have effectively contained the coronavirus are all women. And I'd like to show them here. These are the women leaders who have gallantly paid it forward during this pandemic times. I'm sure you are familiar with them, and I am not going to mention their names anymore, but I'd like to mention the photo credit. This is from Forbes.com. Okay. These leaders have been lauded because of their swift action, swift response, and ability to make difficult decisions. There's my husband helping me out. He's the
thank you. Thank you so much, Dan.
Okay, so as I said, these women leaders, these 7 women leaders have been lauded for their swift response, quick action, and ability to make difficult decisions during their containment of the virus by showing very organized and effective management, collaboration, empathy, and compassion. All combined, these common traits have enabled these 7 women to inspire their population to come together to cooperate and minimize the impact of the pandemic in their respective countries. I think for myself that the empathy and the compassion aspects of these women leaders are the shining stars in their efforts. Given that their respective governments are already known for being well organized and well managed. And here in our own country, we have also seen our very own Vice President, Lady Vice President Leni Robredo, shining through and leading the way in extending help to those people who very much needed help during the crisis. Also, a big factor in this pandemic is the volunteerism of women. Studies show that women volunteer more than the men. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, I think this is due to our natural maternal instinct. Women are known for their multitasking abilities. We are very quick to organize and mobilize our efforts simply because the natural compassion and empathy for any given situation is always inside us. So volunteerism brings out the best in any crisis situation. And volunteerism, as they always say, is a gift to the community in many ways. Our frontliners, I consider them as heroes, as the best examples of volunteerism. They are classic examples of what volunteerism is all about in women. Retired women doctors, as you all know, and even nurses came back to work and volunteered once again to work in hospitals, despite the dangers that it posed on their personal safety. Some of them even lost their lives doing their best in these pandemic moments. These frontliners, like the medical practitioners, security guards, law enforcers, bank tellers, and even those who deliver our essentials, some of whom are women riders. You know, that's very common here in the Philippines, women riders. I mean, most of them are still men, but there are also women riders now delivering all these orders that we have from Grab and everything. They are braving the odds, rain or shine. And I call them true heroes of this pandemic crisis. Now, in my Soroptimist Club in Mandaluyong City here in the Philippines, despite the lockdown, we were able to mobilize and distribute hundreds of masks in depressed areas. In doing so, we were able to provide somehow a livelihood opportunity for stay-at-home women. when they made this mask for us. On the home front, many discovered their other talents. My good friend, a financial advisor, honed her talents for cooking Chinese food, you know, amidst her stress and anxiety over the absence of business. And while giving out free food also to some families, she was also making some money on the sides to compensate for her halted career. On the other hand, there is this notable fashion designer that I know who has perfected the art of Thai cuisine in the absence of any demand for the creation of beautiful attires. So he or she is currently doing a lot of orders for delivery here, there, and everywhere. It's really nice because, you know, during this pandemic crisis, many things come out that really provide you opportunities, no matter how small they are. But as Merle said, during brighter times, I'm sure these little opportunities will also flourish. So even my own daughter-in-law learned to make a heavenly cheesecake during the lockdown, with my own granddaughter also getting to do yummy choco peanut butter cookies. So all of this make for business opportunities in the midst of this pandemic. Somehow, a crisis brings out the best in people, especially among women. And that brings to mind the words of the past president of Liberia, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who said, and I'd like to quote, that the power of women has not yet been fully tested or tapped. We need to build towards using them more often. Okay, so this pandemic is now really a part of history. Our lives have been drastically changed, drastically altered, and we still don't know how much it will change after this pandemic is over, especially for the younger generation. What will the future be for these girls in a post-pandemic world? The younger generation, especially generations Y and Z, as you can see in this picture, are the ones to experience tremendous changes now and after this pandemic. First of all, we know that education will now rely more on distance and online learning. Whether this will be better or more beneficial in the absence of physical classroom settings remains to be seen. But this is now the call of the times. Because of this, they will be more hooked to social media and to their gadgets. But in many ways, these changes will bring many positives to the future of girls. I am sure of that. In the sense that after witnessing and experiencing the devastating effects of the pandemic, they will be more conscious of sanitation and hygiene, health, and fitness. They will also care and advocate more for the environment in their desire to have clean air and surroundings. They will be more aware and demanding of their own spaces, take note, the environment and things that are hygienic and sanitized. And they will be staying home more since most of the things that will be coming to them will be through technology, mostly online. Then these young people will prefer to live farther because they will prefer more quiet spaces, more quiet areas to lessen their stress and improve their own being, their self-being. So big cities will not be that appealing anymore to the younger generation. Unlike us, they will not do much physical banking and purchases anymore. They will not be like their lolas, their mommies, their titas, who like to go to the banks and make chica with the tellers and the managers. But my hope is that these scenarios will not affect the younger generation's social interaction abilities. It is therefore upon us, it is therefore important for older people like us to remind them and even ourselves to stay positive, that normalcy will somehow be restored when an effective cure for this pandemic is in place, and then we can all be physically together again, and we can embrace and hug each other again. I like talking about the future generation because my older grandchildren belong to Gen Z. They were born between 1995 and 2010. They inspire me to think more about the future and how I should adapt to it. Although obviously that will really be a fit for me because it will be very hard to cope with that being from a generation of long time ago. By 2026, Gen Z will reach about 82 million people, which means that they will be the largest generation, even more than the baby boomers before. They are very tech savvy and they are very tech addicted. They value social justice more than anyone else, as they are socially focused and likes full equality and freedom of expression. More importantly, this is one generation that will care about the planet, which is good because the previous generations have squandered our planet. With these changing scenarios affecting future generations, more girls should consider getting into a STEM education. STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses. It is important that women and girls now consider these courses because technology is dictating the pace of our lives, and this is the way to go now, and there is so much demand for these courses already. And always the graduates of these courses are getting employed more easily. As I said, times are changing and technology is here to stay, so STEM will be a very important consideration even for girls as compared to many years before when girls would settle for softer courses. This pandemic, unfortunately, will likewise unduly impact women and girls, especially those in the disadvantaged sector. I'm sorry to say that. Girls will be very vulnerable with strong probabilities for early marriages, sexual exploitation, teenage pregnancies, and even child labor. And the only thing that can counter this problem is no other than education. Education, for that matter, is the leading program of our organization, the Optimist. As a global organization that will soon be 100 years old, we are now 99 years
Wow.
old. We're going to 100 by next year. We have
Wow.
spent almost half a century improving the lives of women and girls through education. With our belief that education is the best way to uplift women and girls out of poverty. Our programs are called DREAM programs. Developed by the Optimist International of the Americas, these programs are meant to enable women and girls to live their dreams for a better life. This is my last slide. Okay, sorry. Okay, there you go. So these are the dream programs of Optimist, the Live Your Dream Education and Training Awards for women. This award provides women with resources to finish a college education or a technical vocational course in order to improve their lives. Primarily, it is about helping women who have faced economic and personal hardships that deterred them to pursue their dreams for an education. All because they need to work to provide for their family and their dependents, like a disabled spouse, partners, siblings, children, or their parents. Some have been victims of domestic violence, sexual assaults, child abuse, or even trafficking. Yearly, our clubs in 21 countries search for these women and they are carefully chosen from club to region and ultimately at federation levels to receive the award, taking into consideration their most compelling circumstances, needs, and intense desire to finish a college education. Our region winners, like here in the Philippines, receive as much as $3,000 to $5,000 to support their education, and each region winner has a chance to receive another $10,000 if she becomes an international winner. SIA has disbursed millions of dollars to thousands of women all over the world in this program. Here in the Philippines, we have 6 international winners already. They have lived their dreams by completing their college education and now are leading better lives. 3 are already professionals, 2 are teachers, 1 has a small business, and the other 3, because they are more recent, are still pursuing their college degrees. Yet many clubs have helped other women, even though they did not become winners. The clubs are helping these women to go through college, and quite a number of these clubs have already enabled these women to finish their college degree, and they now have jobs either in government or in private institutions. As we have talked earlier about the future of girls, Soroptimist also has a program for them. And this is what you call the Dream It, Be It Career Support for Girls. This program supports girls ages 13 to 17 so that they can keep their focus on education. We conduct seminars, provide mentorship, and extend help for some of their school needs, just to keep them in school. Because some of these young girls simply drop out of school for lack of attention and guidance from their parents due to abject poverty or simply due to lack of concern, support, or abandonment by the parents. And lastly, we have the LiveYourDream.org. It is an online community empowering offline action, meaning to say that anyone can be a member of this online platform and contribute to the causes of Soroptimist. So there you go. That's my sharing of opportunities in times of this pandemic crisis. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Tita Gigi. That's really powerful and very inspiring. To add to that, you know, our village in Carmen Bohol in Montesonting, our club in Makati, I'm a proud member of Soroptimist Club in Makati. We received $10,000 grant for the village of Montesonting. We did TESDA education for 3 courses. We did cookery and hilot massage and the sewing and a water filtration for the whole village, you know, a drinking water station, which Soroptimist is very passionate about, and a kitchen, a training kitchen for the cookery. And it benefited about 200 women. This is really powerful, and I'm very proud of Soroptimist and all the good work that you all do, because unbeknownst to the whole world, there are these armies of good-hearted women who has so much to give. We just have to highlight the work so that we can give hope to the hopeless out there. And I want to advertise this to the whole world, that don't lose hope. You know, as long as we are alive, we have hope, and we keep moving forward and connect to the right people. Thank you once again, Tita Gigi. We're gonna open the floor to questions. I think my twin Marivir and Arceli and the audience, they have questions for you, Tita.
Yes,
Twin?
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for your very inspiring input on empowering women. And it is also timely that you highlighted the women leaders right now who are leading in their fight against the pandemic in their own countries. It's really very telling how women are capable of managing a country. So I would like to ask your program for educating women, which is actually the vehicle where they could alleviate themselves, their statuses, perhaps their economic situation or their gender situation. So I'd like to know if there are certain criteria, for example, in the Philippines, and is there a limit to how much you could provide, or do you like scatter this in Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, or whoever just comes? Is it a first come, first served kind of system?
Well, it's a selection method, actually. You know, in all of the 21 countries under the Federation of Soroptimist International of the Americas. This program opened on an annual basis. Every year, each club, and we have about 3,000 clubs in the Americas, including the Philippines, we search for a woman most qualified for this program. And it starts on our club level. So like here in the Philippines, we have about 90 clubs. So all of these clubs try to find a woman within their community, preferably, who will qualify for this kind of award, the Live Your Dream Education and Training Award. And then these candidates from the clubs will be chosen. One will be chosen to represent our district because we have 14 districts. So with that 14 districts, one of those women will be chosen as the region winner. Now, as region winner, you already receive $5,000. Okay, so it all starts from the club level. So actually, you think of it, walang limit, no? There's no limit because all of the clubs under the federation are qualified to look for their own candidates. So it is really well chosen when you become an international winner. I mean, I'm very proud to say that this year, one of the international winners come from the Philippines. And even last year, she came from the Philippines. She is an indigenous lady, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And this year, the lady is from the province of Bulacan. She has a beautiful story. I cannot mention her name for privacy reasons, but this lady has a very, very beautiful story. As an infant, that's the most I can tell you. As an infant, she was left under a tree, and then she was picked up by a childless couple. And then she grew up. I think when she was about 10 or 11 years old, the mother came back looking for her, and she was located with this childless couple. So the childless couple gave her back naman because she is the natural mother. But then when she was already living with her mom, the mom was living in with a guy, and unfortunately this guy was molesting the little girl.
No.
Yes. And the girl told her mom about it, but the mother doesn't like to believe it. But one day the mother came home and she saw for herself that her husband was molesting the girl. And to protect the girl, she tried to stop the man, but of course the man overpowered her, and the mother was the one who was stabbed and she died. So she became an orphan, yeah, and she was hopping from one life to another. But the Soroptimist found her, and one of them gave her a job in her home and helped her with her schooling. So today she is struggling to come up with a college education. And because of her story, she became an international winner. We have 3 international winners every year. And this time, she is one of them. So she'll be receiving $10,000, aside from the $5,000 that she received from the region. That is also coming from SIA, of course. No? So pagka naging international winner ka, that's a bonus for you. You receive another $10,000. So when you get $15,000 to support your education, that's a lot. I mean, that's more than 700,000 pesos.
That's a lot.
Yes.
And I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
How do you monitor the how the money is being used, if it's really used for education? Do you have a check and balance system?
Yes, we do. The club who nominated her is the one that manages it. Because, it's understandable. Sometimes the money might be going somewhere else. I mean, we have so many needs. But the purpose of the prize money is supposed to give her the education that she has always wanted, she has always desired. So we see to it that the club that nominated her is very involved in managing the funds with her. What we do in most of the clubs that has had winners is we open a bank account for her. She is the signatory, and the counter signatories are the officers or the president of the club that nominated her. In that manner, talagang we are able to monitor her so that she can really achieve her dream and
Right.
live.
That's great.
Mhm.
Thank you, ma'am. Arceli has a
Amazing.
question. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. Ma'am Gigi, good morning.
Morning,
We'd like to
Arceli.
congratulate you and your group. You're so superb, and that thank you for extending your motherhood to the rest of the world. And I'm so touched with your story, like what you have shared. And at the back of my mind, I'm also thinking, like, though we are free tuition, free miscellaneous, free education, as they call it, but however, because there are still people or women who are enrolled in our university, who prefer to quit schooling because despite the offer of the government, still they cannot afford to just go to school and leave their families hungry. So they really are stopping from schooling. So even if they have the desire to go to school, so if only I should have known Sir Optimist, maybe they could have been linked to you. And I just do not know how is it. What are the centers or where are you located? Aside from being there in the metropolis, no? So do you have some centers here, somewhere in the middle of the country and in the southern part? So we can go to you. Sorry,
Okay. You know what? I would encourage
I have some
you.
sense of
I would
guilt this
encourage
time.
you to put up a club in Bohol. What is
Yeah.
Yay!
doing?
Thank
Bernie,
you.
you might as well put up SI Bohol.
Yay! That's
Yes,
great.
Yeah.
actually, yeah. Actually,
Nice.
the
You?
previous governor, she went to Bohol, and even the international president,
I know that.
they went to Bohol to open our project. Yeah, we should. I think, Arceli, should we pioneer the
Sure,
Sir
sure.
Optimus Bohol?
I'm going to help
My
you.
So
pleasure
nice.
too.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
the
yes.
CQ is done, I will go to Bohol.
I
Yes,
also want that.
yes,
Thank you so much.
that's very exciting. Yes.
That's
Oh,
great.
I'm seeing very big light here, brighter light in Bohol. Yes. What about the grant, Tita? You are talking about grants.
Yes.
So, what is the qualification? Should it be a grant for an org, registered org by SEC, or there is no such thing as that?
Okay, the ones who can get the grant from Soroptimist should actually be a Soroptimist club. It is not given to anyone else
I
except
see.
to a Soroptimist club. The club has to apply for it. We give as much as $10,000, although right now we are a little bit stingy, I guess, because of the crisis, but we do give grants. And the projects should always be focused on women and girls. Uh,
Lovely.
Because I'm
yes.
saddened by the fact, now I'm not supposed to tell this to the world, but however, just lately, the Department of Budget and Management issued a circular that we will no longer be hiring job order workers. So most of the order workers in the public institutions are majority are women. So where will they go after that? So
Mhm.
this is a sad reality, but the government is running out of funds. So maybe if only we can do something like they don't have also the seed money to go for a business, and business now is you really need to have a trial and error.
Yes.
So and it means you are risking your family, but we are now at that point that we are so troubled about it. We are just so blessed that we are regular here, we are permanent, but my heart is also going for those who will be losing their job weeks from now. So
That's sad. No?
Yes, it's really sad. I mean, I wish we could really do something about it, but during these pandemic times, I don't know how we can go forward, especially with the jobs. I mean, we we have employees ourselves, and
Hmm.
they're working from home, and we are on a skeletal force because as much as you really want to move your business, but the rest of the world is not yet moving. So there's
Yes.
really a standstill on many things, especially among businesses. And it's a sad reality. In fact, right now, we are really thinking of how do we go about doing our projects. As you know, we go out into the communities, but
Hmm.
with this ECQ, with this social distancing and everything, how will you really conduct
Hmm.
your community service? But well, I think, as we said, there are opportunities in times of crisis. So with the Lord's guidance, with the Lord's highlighting our minds into more action, I am sure that we can find ways and means by which we can still help.
Amazing.
Great, great. Thank you
you.
very much. Oh my God, our topic is so interesting, and time flies so fast, we're running out of time. We need to wrap up, right?
Yes, yes.
So can we wrap up now, Twin?
Merly,
yes, we can.
Wrap up.
Yes, Tita.
Promise me about that club in Bohol, okay?
Definitely. Yes, Arceli is there, and she is a force to reckon with. When she declares it, it will happen.
Oh
Right?
my God.
Right? You are a superwoman.
My pleasure to work with you.
Twin.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you.
Awesome. This is really awesome. Before we close, I really want to encourage everyone, even though we are living in dark times and times of uncertainty, but I believe that the human spirit is like water. Water flows everywhere, even just a single crack, a very small, thin crack, it will go through. So our human spirit will survive, and we will find a way to achieve our aspirations. And
I
for me,
believe that.
I am a product of mentoring. Tita Gigi, women leaders like you and like us, we really need to give that chance, the opportunity to mentor and give hope to women. I am a product of mentoring. I can never be who I am, what I am now, without somebody mentoring me like a child, like their own mother. Who would have known, I came from the remotest part of the Philippines, in the village of Montebon. And when you go there, you'll know where it is. It's just, they said that piso na lang papuntang langit. So the fare to heaven is only 1 peso, because that's how remote it is. But, I had women who really helped me. So that's what I'm saying, that never lose hope. As we close, I want to read the Food for the Heart. From the founder, Mother of Peace. She said, this is beautiful. She said about women, we are called to play a central role by serving alongside with men, like the wheels of a great engine pulling the construction of a peaceful world. We accept this important role to become the turning point in building a new century characterized by a loving, peaceful culture. And on that note, I want to say thank you, everyone, for spending this beautiful time with us. It's such an enriching, powerful conversation. And Twin, Arceli.
Thank you. Thank you, Twin. Thank you to our speaker this morning. And it's been another inspiring show. It always gets inspiring every time we're together. And so I thank our audience, our growing audience as well. And Arceli?
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma'am Gigi. This is my realization for today. God has no more mouth nor hands, feet to serve his people. He is now translating it to all of us. And it is our call. Through the wisdom that he is sending to us, we become his channel of goodness to the rest of the world. So for all of us who are joining us this morning, let us be awakened by that call. Let us be inspired daily to work forward for this beautiful world. Thank you so much for us. Good morning.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. We women are all blessings to the world. Our existence is blessing.
Indeed.
And happy birthday once again, Tita Gigi. Mark Mail, can you show everyone? We want to meet and greet everyone.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
And then
Happy
we
birthday,
wave.
Gigi. Okay, thank you.
All right, this is beautiful.
Wave, everybody.
Hi, let's wave, everyone. Somebody take picture. Twin, can you take picture?
Yeah, okay.
Let's take
Oh,
picture.
hold on.
Hold on. Hold your smile. Oh my God, where's my camera? Okay, hold your
you can
smile.
wave.
1, 2, wave.
Hold on. Oh, my camera,
All
it's like
right.
jumping. It's jumping, Twin. So
I got it. I got you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Okay,
Happy
see you
birthday,
next
Lord.
time.